They said plasma lances could slice through star steel in a heartbeat. Yet somehow, on a quiet rescue deck above the moon of Ralphus, a human mechanic named Joon Park caught one with his bare hands. Witnesses swore the beam should have burned straight through him, but he didn't move, he didn't even flinch. Because behind him, shaking and alone, was a tiny alien cub whose species had never seen a human before. And in that impossible second, something changed. A legend was born. They now call him the Unburned Human. If this opening already has you thinking, wait, humans can do that? Then you're in the right place. Hit like, subscribe, and share so more HFY fans can enjoy stories where humanity refuses to break. Alright, let's dive into how one quiet man became a myth. The rescue deck above Ralphus always felt too big for one person. Joon Park knew that better than anyone. He stood there alone, boots resting on the grated floor, listening to the quiet hum of the station's old life support vents. It was the kind of silence that didn't feel peaceful, it felt loaded, like the moment right before someone takes a breath to scream. He wasn't even supposed to be on duty. He was a mechanic, not security. But when the distress beacon pinged a small life form detected near the outer airlock, he was the closest pair of hands. What he found made him freeze. A tiny creature barely the size of a Terran cat huddled against the wall. Its fur shimmered like liquid silver, and its wide black eyes were full of something between fear and desperate hope. Joon didn't recognize the species, but he recognized trembling. He recognized loneliness. "Hey, little guy." "You're all right," he whispered, crouching slowly so he wouldn't scare it. The cub let out a soft, warbling chirp. That's when the deck lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then the temperature dropped as the emergency shutters sealed behind him. No alarms, no warning. Someone or something had just locked him in, and the cub wasn't the only one being hunted. The temperature shift wasn't an accident. Joon felt it, the air thinning, the hum of the deck changing pitch. Someone had rerouted power. Someone was preparing a trap. He grabbed the cub gently and tucked it against his chest, moving toward the nearest maintenance panel. He didn't get 3 steps. A ripple of bull light sliced through the shadows, so bright it painted the metal walls in ghostly shapes. A plasma lance military grade shot toward him with a hiss that sounded almost alive. It should have carved him in half. Humans had no secret shielding, no hidden armor. No one, not even the hardened warriors of Ralphus, survived a direct hit from that kind of weapon. Yet Joon didn't think, he reacted. Instinct shoved him sideways, one arm curling around the cub, the other raised by pure reflex. His palm met the oncoming beam with a crackling burst of light, and the impossible happened. The plasma bent around his hand like water hitting a stone. Heat roared past him, scorching the floor, melting a groove into the metal. But his skin didn't even blister. The attacker stepped into view tall, masked, armed for war, and froze. Because Joon Park, a simple mechanic, was still standing. And the cub in his arms blinked at him like it had just witnessed a miracle. For a heartbeat, no one moved. The masked attacker stared at Joon's outstretched hand as if reality itself had misfired. Plasma residue still shimmered across his fingers, glowing faintly before fading into harmless sparks. Joon felt nothing, no pain, no burn. Just the cub's tiny heartbeat thumping against his chest. The attacker took one slow step back. The cub, however, leaned forward, sniffing Joon's palm, then pressing its small head against it. A soft chirp escaped its throat, almost reverent. Joon didn't understand the sound, but instinct told him this wasn't fear, this was recognition. Moments later, other figures arrived, tall alien warriors with obsidian armor and crest-like horns sweeping back from their skulls. They were the Ralphus elite, feared across several systems. Their weapons lowered the second they saw the cub, then they saw Joon. And everything changed. One warrior knelt, eyes widening at his unmarked skin. She whispered something in her native tongue, a word that made the others stiffen. "Varkith," another murmured. "Unburned," Joon shook his head. "I'm just human. I don't know what that means." The lead warrior studied him carefully, almost cautiously. "It means your survival is impossible," she said. "And impossible things carry meaning." Behind her, More warriors arrived, watching him with something that looked suspiciously like awe. The warriors didn't speak right away. They formed a loose circle around Joon, not in a threatening way, but in the careful, measured posture of people standing before something sacred. The cub stayed tucked under his arm, utterly calm now, as if it understood it was no longer in danger. The lead warrior, tall, sharp-eyed, her armor marked with the sigils of an elder, stepped closer. "Human," she said, voice low, "you intercepted a plasma lance built to breach armored carriers. Your body should have been ash." Joon shrugged weakly. "Trust me, I'm as confused as you, but confusion wasn't what the elders saw. They saw symbolism. They saw omen. And among the Rolthus, omens carried weight heavier than starships." An elder counselor arrived moments later, robes shimmering like molten stone. His gaze lingered on Joon's hands, then the cub, then the scorched metal trench carved into the floor. "We have searched centuries for proof that the unburned one could walk again," the counselor murmured. "A protector who stands between fire and the innocent." Joon blinked. "I'm just a mechanic." "Not anymore," the counselor replied. The warriors exchanged glances, not fear, not anger, but acceptance. In a single moment, without ceremony or warning, an entire species decided what Joon Park now was. A guardian. A symbol, a myth reborn. Word travels fast in space, but stories of the impossible travel even faster. Within hours, the footage of Joon blocking the plasma lance had raced across every Rolthus channel. Analysts broke it down frame by frame. Priests called it prophecy. Warriors replayed it like a battle hymn. And somewhere in all that noise, a simple truth formed. The cub survived because a human refused to step aside. Joon didn't return to his workshop that day. The Rolthus elders escorted him through their halls with the kind of respect normally reserved for ancient heroes. Everywhere he walked, people whispered, "Varkith, unburned," not in fear, in gratitude. The cub, now perched on his shoulder, chirped proudly as if claiming him. Joon wasn't sure he deserved any of it. He still felt like the same tired mechanic who just reacted faster than he could think. But sometimes legends don't wait for permission, they just happen. And as the Rolthus ambassador broadcast the event to neighboring systems, one message echoed louder than all the others. Humanity protects. It wasn't a slogan, it wasn't propaganda. It was a moment caught on camera, undeniable and raw. A single act of instinct became a myth. And Joon Park, once invisible, became the unburned human, the protector whose story would outlive him. If this story hit you even half as hard as it hit me while writing it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a good HFY moment. Humans standing up when we absolutely shouldn't. That's what makes these stories unforgettable. Tell me in the comments, what would you do if you saw an alien cub in danger? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next HFY legend.